Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCS Matters. I'm John Wright, the Public Relations Director for Hardin County Schools, and thank you for checking in with us for this edition of HCS Matters. And we're recording this on an HCS weather day. As all of you know, we've had a lot of those recently, and we're recording this on Friday, February 12th, and we're crossing our fingers that we don't have any more, but the forecast looks like that there may be. So just some more adversity to this crazy year. But we're talking today with some guidance counselors, some senior guidance counselors from across the district: Chad Lewis from John Hardin High School, Alan Campbell from North Hardin High School, Chris Adams from Central Hardin High School, and Christy Wright from our Hardin County Schools Early College and Career Center. So she is definitely the rose among four thorns. So no question about that. But guys, here we are, as we said, on February the 12th, and through we're operating in a pandemic, an ice storm, and maybe soon to be a snowstorm. So if I'm a high school senior, in typical years, it's probably a little crazy right now, but especially during all of this. So I'll just toss the ball out there, and you guys can pick it up and run with it. How are seniors operating and preparing for their next steps as we battle all this adversity?
I guess I'll start here. I would just say that, at this point, seniors need to have a plan, and whatever that plan is make sure that you are organized. Make sure that you write those things down. You have time, especially right now in the pandemic, to make sure that you are reaching out to your counselors if they need any extra assistance. Make sure that you are applying to the different schools. One thing that I would caution seniors about is make sure you pick your top 3 or 4 choices, because you get into some hefty application fees at times. So I would be very cognizant about the schools that you're looking at and pick those top 3 or 4 choices. One thing that we want to tell students that we normally do in most situations, there are free and reduced application waivers. So if you are wanting to apply and you are on free and reduced lunch, we can still get those waivers to those schools. So I want to get that information out as well.
Well, I agree with Chad 100%. They should almost be down to a choice of 3 and almost be ready to be able to pick their school at this point in time. Hopefully they've gone on their college visits, whether it's virtual or in person. Hopefully they've got a list on what they would like to go into, because that has so much to do with what college is right for you. And since we're in the middle of this pandemic, ice storm, snow storm, best thing to do right now is to get on Scholarship Central right now and go ahead and apply for Scholarship Central and all those wonderful scholarships out there. It's a wonderful time right now because scholarships actually are less and less because of some businesses. And so you want to make sure that you create opportunities for yourself.
And if I could just jump in there and add to the money side of things, I was reading an article earlier today that said research is showing that the number of students applying for FAFSA, free application for federal student aid, is down like 10% nationally. So my mind shifts gears to, okay, that means more opportunity for students that are applying to get free aid to go to college. And students and parents that might be watching this, sometimes just the thought of sitting down and filling out the FAFSA might be overwhelming, just thinking about it, because oftentimes parents think back to maybe when they used to have to fill out FAFSA, when it was a paper form and it unfolded like 4 or 5 times across the kitchen table. But it has become so easy and user-friendly for students and parents to accomplish that. And please reach out to your school counselor. And I'm sure we'll talk a little bit more later about wonderful resources on the KIA website, right at your fingertips. But the process is not hard at all. I tell students and parents it usually takes about 45 minutes. There's a part a student has to fill out and a section the parent has to fill out. And now with the IRS data retrieval tool in the FAFSA application, it literally can all of your tax information for you. So you're not having to hunt down your tax forms and looking at your line items. It's just such an easy process and such a wonderful free opportunity of students with all income levels to help them pay for school.
I would highly encourage students and parents to look at the cost of the schools as well, because, you know, I like to tell my students, I like money. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to pay that money back at some point if you have to borrow, which most of us do nowadays, especially with the high cost of college tuition. So find out what your major is, find out the school that is going to lead you in the best direction to get your college degree, and you have to make smart financial decisions that basically are going to affect you for the rest of your life.
Make sure that students that you're talking and checking with your admissions counselors at the schools you're looking at. I know we just got an email over the last week. Eastern Kentucky has extended their deadline on their merit scholarships to April 1st. Usually those are wrapping up sometime in February. So check with the schools, make sure if they've extended their deadlines or if they're still the same. Check their social media. I know a lot of the schools are making sure they get housing deadlines are coming up. Sometimes you need to get your housing applications. If they extended the admissions windows, check on those. If you got it down to 1 or 2, I would make sure you're in constant contact with your admissions rep on those and checking that. And also, in addition to Scholarship Central, we're starting to get more and more of these local scholarships that are out there. They've been coming rapidly in the past week or two. I know feels like I'm posting 1 or 2 scholarships a day. So make sure you're checking the school's website on that, wherever you're finding all your local scholarships. Use this downtime wisely. Scholarship Central is a great resource for taking one time to get all those in, but there's a lot of other ones, and make sure you're applying on those.
Mr. Adams brought up a very good point about housing, other things other than academics. But I guess as we're now seeing some light at the end of the COVID-19 tunnel, we'll probably start seeing more students actually going to campus. Whereas this academic year, that might not have been as commonplace, but I would think, guys, as you talk to your college reps, are you starting to see that more of, hey, we're going to try to get back to normal?
I think we're starting to see them a little bit more in our emails now, which means I think that they're pumping up their admission stuff and everything else now. So they're gradually wanting to get back into the schools and communicating. But you're right. I mean, I have two sons, one who went virtually this year to college and one who's a high school senior. So I'm doing a dual role this year of being not only a high school counselor, but also a senior parent as well. So one thing about Kia that we didn't mention earlier, make sure that you've received information from them over a summer, because if you have not, it means the school does not have your social security number, which is attached to your Kia account. So please make sure that you've received letters and information from them about the monies that you might have for Kia. That's a very important scholarship. And if you haven't been getting letters, more than likely it's because either you've A, moved in, or B, that we don't have your social security number. And we have to have your social security number for that Kia account to attach. So also make sure of that.
If I could just ask my fellow counselors from each of the high schools, as most people know, EC3, we work with students from Central, John, and North. And when I talk to our seniors, what is the best way for them to find local scholarships that come to Central, John, and North, if you don't mind sharing?
So for John Hardin High School, if you go to our webpage, John Hardin students, if you will go to academics and then you can click on the guidance counselor page, you will find we've got highlighted in big bold letters, it says scholarships. So if you click directly on that link, you can find any scholarship opportunity that we have received that could be directly available to you. And as I tell students, a lot of times only a handful of kids will apply for these scholarships. So take the effort, maybe write. The paper sometimes scares the kid away from trying to apply for the scholarship because they may ask for a 500-word essay. I tell students to write one paper and then adapt that one paper to the other scholarship opportunities that you may have the opportunity to apply for. And, it's just taking a little extra step, going that extra mile, and making that hopefully available to you.
Easiest way to find ours, if you go to the Hardin County Schools webpage, and there's on the students, there's a scholarships link. And right at the top, there's a link to each one of our high school scholarship pages. That goes straight to mine. And same with Chad. Every local scholarship and some of the national ones that we get are all there. I've added one this morning that's already come in. So we get those. We link them right away up there so they can get those. And Chad's right. It's effort is a lot of it. I tell kids, if it takes you an hour to write an essay and that essay gets you $500 even, where else can you make $500 an hour right now? Just for that effort. And we know they can text that many words in an hour. So if you apply it to one of those questions, you can do that. You can definitely write that much and just get that, see what it takes on it. It's more effort. We had a young lady a few years ago. I love to tell the story to our students. She wasn't an A student. She wasn't an AB student. She was an ABC student. But when we had our honors night, she had the second most number of scholarships in her class. When her classmates said, well, how'd she get that many? Well, she applied for every single scholarship she was eligible for. She and her mom went through the list, look what she could get, and she applied on everything. She ended up with $12,000 in scholarships. Oh, and she was going to ECTC, which basically meant she had just gotten her entire degree, her associate's degree, paid for at ECTC just from the work that she put in. So utilize that time and see which ones you can get.
We have two different ways. For one, everything goes out on our Remind to our seniors. All we do is get in a scholarship, and we actually put up there on the Remind exactly the qualifications for each scholarship. And also there is something on our North Hardin webpage, so about all the scholarships as well. Plus, we run for those that are in school, we run a bit over our TVs and everything in school, so they're able to see that there as well. So there's a lot of different ways, and of course I'll mention off what Chris did, but they do got a centralized location at the central office webpage too. So
that's exactly right. So thank you guys for marketing that for us. On, as Mr. Adams and Mr. Campbell both said, on the Hardin County Schools webpage, there is it's under the students tab. It's hardin.kyschools.us. You go to the students tab, and there's a scholarship information page there. It does have some older scholarships from last year on it, but some of those links may still be good for this year. So we just may have not received any information on those scholarships yet, but there's scholarships there for a bound credit union. Scholarship Central link is there. Some other, and a link to each of the three high schools. So, and then also for those students who are attending in person, I know attending school has been not very commonplace here at Hare as of late, but with like electronic means and things like that, they should be really a senior, and all four of you should be on pretty good speaking terms right now. All those seniors should have good relationships with you guys. Is that an accurate statement?
Very hopeful that they have good relationships with us. It makes it a lot easier for us to write and for us to cipher our way through all the information that is best for them. I've been on a lot of virtual campus visits with a lot of our kids and able to check out the information that each the admissions counselor is giving at the time, trying to find the pathway for each kid, because each kid is different. My two boys and my daughter, each of them are different. They're each going to be looking for different things as far as what a college can offer. My son is a senior now. He fell in love with Eastern Kentucky University. So that wasn't even on my oldest son's list. So you fall in love with different things. I walked on Western's campus, and although I loved the friendliness of the campus, I didn't like the walk that you have to do all the time. So it sounds bad, but I fell in love with UK and all that it had to offer. So different things for different people. Make sure, though, above all else, that you're thinking about your future and your major and what that school has to offer. Remember, Mr. Lewis earlier said, make sure that you know how much each place costs. Because like the Murray, Moorheads, Northerns, they're some of our cheapest schools. Whereas the Campbellsvilles, Georgetowns, Bellarmins, Breshas, they're all attached to a church, which means automatically that their tuition is higher. So their tuition is between $36,000 and $48,000 a year. So you got to make sure that you know that just because the school is small does not mean it's less in money.
Guys, a lot of our students go out of state to college, and that happens every year. And a lot of them stay, but yet a lot of them seem to return home for different reasons, whether that be for family reasons or whatever. Are you still seeing that? And I guess what I'm eventually asking is, ECTC, and Coach Adams mentioned this earlier, Elizabethtown Community and Technical College is a great option for students right here in our own backyard. And of course, and if this was available way back when Mr. Campbell went to school, he wouldn't have had to walk the hill at WKU. WKU has a presence here. And of course, I'm a Western grad, and I may be accused of touting WKU there, but there are several options here.
And I tell them, John, make sure check into that Work Ready scholarship. I think it's in its third year, and that's when I don't know that we impress enough. If you look at all the programs that are available at your community and technical colleges, especially ECTC, you can go there, do that 2-year program, and have the tuition paid for. If you're in those, if you just investigate the programs, and people don't realize how many there are and how many great programs there are there. The nursing program is one of the best in the state. The auto mechanics and diesel mechanics programs are two of the best in the region. And just check into that, because I think people turn their nose up at, oh, it's ECTC. Don't turn your nose up at free. If you are looking at one of those programs that you might be able to get in on that Work Ready scholarship, check into that. Look on Kia's website, look on the ECTC website, and see if that's something you would like to do. Now, here's the other thing. If you say, I just want a 4-year degree, well, if you get the 2-year degree and get that paid for and you can make some better money, it also makes that 4-year degree a little more obtainable.
I just want to say ECTC is obviously a great friend to Hardin County Schools, the school district. And the next layer of that, they are a great friend to universities. What I mean by that is, how seamless ECTC and the whole KCTCS system has made it for families and for students to make it very affordable while they're home. And they can transfer, they can get a lot of their gen eds done, or like Mr. Adams said, the 2-year programs to be a skilled worker. But they've made it so easy. And I also want to say that, yes, some of the private schools, if you look at the ticket price, the sale price, yes, that can be overwhelming. But oftentimes through different grant opportunities, through financial aid, different private scholarships that a private school may be able to offer, oftentimes the price can trickle down and become very affordable for students. And I'm sure all the counselors on here would agree, picking a college is kind of like if you're able to get a vehicle, you want to test drive that. And like Mr. Campbell said, you try your best, students, to get on that college campus. You can make anything look appealing and whatever online. But if there's any way possible, if you're still not decided about your college choice, try to do a virtual tour. Some colleges are getting so creative that they're walking around with their phone while the student and family, they're at home and they're connected and they're walking around campus virtually. But if at all possible, and if safely, if students and families could get on that campus, that might help you make a sound decision.
And folks, we are talking a lot about college, and that being the next step, and it is for a lot of our students. But as you all well know, that a career or maybe into the military is certainly a viable option, is becoming more and more viable for our students, and that's wonderful as well. So are we seeing more students when they walk across the stage on what will hopefully be May the 22nd or May the 21st or whenever our last day of school is. Hopefully in May that will happen, and hopefully they will get to walk across the stage this year in front of people. We'll see. But are you seeing more and more students ready to walk across on Saturday, and then on Monday maybe walk into a job, or at least be applying for jobs outside of college?
I mean, I think military-wise, we have some very good military recruiters, National Guard, Army, Marines, Air Force, all in our schools. The Navy has made a huge impact recently with their recruiting efforts. So we're looking at more and more career military-ready kids to go out there in the real world. It's on Facebook messages all the time that they're signing up for these opportunities. And of course, that equals some money for college down the road if that student so inclines. Our businesses out there, especially with the connection to EC3, are really starting to give our kids some opportunities for some internships, job markets, and everything else of that nature. So our kids now, even though we're in the middle of a pandemic, should be going out there into the real world with more skill level than probably ever before if they choose to incline that way. Mr. Adams, I'm going to go off him again. That Work Ready scholarship is unbelievable at ECTC. So you're looking at something that you can do and get out there in the world with things that are an immediate opportunity for you. So the HVAC systems and things of that nature. Myself alone, I've had an HVAC person out here at my house for the last 2 to 3 weeks, and they're making, unfortunately for my pocketbook, good money. So that opportunity is there, and it's more there than it ever has been before.
Just to tell parents, all 3 high schools offer the ASFAB as well. We will be giving the ASFAB for those students who are interested in going to the military. We give that test at the end of the school year. I hate to say, I don't know what that's going to look like right at this second because we normally have pretty large numbers that take that exam because we are in a military community. But if we're still able to offer it, which I think we will be able to, if you're not, you can go to MEPS and you can sign up to take the ASFAB with them as well. So I just wanted to add that in there.
Seniors, please do not graduate from high school without having a wonderful resume drafted. I know our Hardin County Schools Work Ethic Certification Program and the wonderful work with our English 4 teachers across the school district with their support to help seniors to draft those resumes and review those. And if you don't know much about the work ethic certification, seniors, you can find a bunch of wonderful information online or talk to your English 4 teacher. Right now, seniors that are taking English 4 trimester 2, the window is open for you all to apply for work ethic certification. But to graduate with your high school diploma, with work ethic certification, you are just so employable out there in the workforce. And if you are not quite confident with your resume, or maybe you don't know really what I'm talking about right now, seniors, please reach out to us school counselors, and we would be more than glad to help you all draft your resume.
If I'm a parent of a high school senior watching this, which will probably catch more parents than we will students. We'll put this on YouTube, so our that's where our students are, and Instagram and things like that. But if I'm a parent of a high school senior, and we will be in a couple of years, what should I be thinking, doing right now to just ensure that my student is ready to take that next step, whether that be the workforce, whether that be military, whether that be a 2-year degree or 4-year degree, or maybe even a vocational field? What should I be doing as a parent?
I believe first and foremost, once you cross the stage in the middle school, you need to start thinking about your plan extended from 4 years. Start making connections. If you're going to college, start taking your ACT earlier. And I think Chad and Chris and Christy all would agree with this. If you are making gains, so if you're going from a 21 to a 22 in one test, keep taking it until you're until you're leveling out. Military, we have military people in our school all the time, so make those connections as well. Get into that pathway if you're looking at trying to go for a career. Those things are very important, and each of those stages equal college, career readiness, and military. So, and just make connections as early as possible with not only your freshman, sophomore counselor, but if I'm a freshman, I'm making a connection with Chad Lewis and Chris Adams and Christy Wright for the future of myself, so I can, I can have them on my side in the future as well.
I'm going to use Hardin County Schools. One of their mottos right now is, guys, we have opportunities. There's opportunities everywhere in this district. There's opportunities in your schools. We have so many pathways, as Mr. Campbell just alluded to. Jump in, find out if you like it or if you don't. It's okay if you don't like it, because then you learn early that, and you're still going to have time to find out where you may find your niche. College isn't for everyone. There are jobs out there, like Mr. Campbell just said, that, make more than people who do go to college. But you're going to have to find something that's going to be your moneymaker, as I tell our kids, and find a trade or find that area that is going to help you make yourself a better life. So that would be my one thing, is we have all kinds of opportunities in this district, and we are here to help you open those doors.
And one thing I would just stress, this is not the time. We're approaching the end. This is not the time to let off the gas. Senioritis is at its most lethal point when you're getting down this home stretch. And we're senior counselors. We see senioritis. It has been a pandemic for years. And when you couple that with a real pandemic and the disconnection you get, it's really easy to say, okay, I'll let this slide. But parents and seniors need to remember, keep pushing, get the scholarships done, get your college narrowed down, and make sure you're staying on top of your grades, getting everything prepared. So when you're ready to walk across that stage, you have taken care of everything, and everything is set for success later in life.
I've heard Ms. Wright say on several occasions that it's incumbent upon the student to get things done. So if I'm a parent, it sounds like I need to really be pushing my student to get things done. And are they checking out those opportunities, as Mr. Adams said, as we come down the home stretch? So
if a parent is involved, it makes the process so much easier. Kids, actually, they act like they don't want your opinion. They need as many opinions as possible by the time that they're ready to graduate. So they have options right now. All of us here on this call right now, all 5 of us, we don't have many options anymore. So it's fun to be a kid sometime and actually have some options about some choices that you can make. So take care of those options. Listen to people's opinions. Value your inner circle, so to speak, as much as you possibly can. And that becomes especially true if you're going to school. I know Mr. Lewis has been on some of these. If you're an athlete, you need as many opinions as possible in a short inner circle. So make sure that you remain open to any opportunity and all opportunities.
That's right. Well, guys, thank you all so much. I know that we could probably do 2 or 3 of these. 30-minute segments, because there's so much to talk about. But there's a lot of information online, students and parents. There's a lot of information. There's more than just social media out there, guys. There's more than TikToks and Instagram, things like that. There are websites that you can find this information. If you don't know where it is, Google it. It's out there. And each of these counselors, they have open doors. And their phone numbers, even though we're not present in school buildings as much here recently, their emails are wide open, their doors are open, their phones are open. So again, students and parents, just reach out to them. You have not only these 4 wonderful folks, but you have folks that they work with at their high schools, and even juniors and sophomores and freshmen and even 8th graders can be looking at these next steps. And just remember, an 8th grader is just 5 years away from walking out the door. So to a career. So again, hey, thank you all very much. I appreciate you all. And we'll see you all as viewers next time on HCS Matters.